Hey everyone, this is Pastor Nat with Win the Day, 5 minutes in the Bible to help you pursue spiritual fitness. Today we're going to talk about embracing the change that Christ makes. Do you ever feel like you're a work in progress? I know I sure do. I mean, how come I have been a Christian for so long, and yet I can lose my cool over the simplest of things? How come I treat my wife like a doormat when all she did was ask for some help? I mean, what is the story? I thought salvation saved our souls and changed our lives. Thank God that statement is true. And the changed life, it is a daily process. At least, that's what history reveals and Paul describes in Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. And I am certain that God, who began the good work within you, will continue his work until it is finally finished on the day when Christ Jesus returns. In 1988, Steve Green wrote a song based on this passage. It was a beautiful song and inspired a new generation to know and claim this passage. But we have to remember what Paul just said in the previous verses. Paul said in verses 4 and 5 that he was full of joy while praying for the church. You see, the church were partners in the gospel. So verse 6 has insight into both the completion of the partnership of the gospel and the good work of the perfecting salvation. You see, this perfecting salvation, we often call it sanctification. You see, God's salvation is actually in three parts. First, it's positional. Once saved, always saved. But second, it's functional. Daily we are being transformed and saved from our own flesh. And last is final salvation, when Christ returns and we experience our glorified bodies and our desires are finally perfected. It's just like Paul wrote in Romans 8. For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, in order that he might be the firstborn among many brothers. And those whom he predestined, he also called. And those whom he called, he also justified. And those whom he justified, he also glorified. Paul says that he chose us to be conformed, or you could say molded into the image of Christ. He called us so that we would be justified or saved, and in time, finally glorified or perfected. You see, that's the positional, functional, and final salvation. Each one is important and necessary for our daily living. Because without the positional, we are without hope. Without the functional, we struggle to find purpose and guidance. Without the final, the battle never ends. So here's my encouragement for you today. The God who begins is the God who completes. Therefore, come to him with your struggles. I struggle daily. Daily, I battle the flesh and need God's help. So talk to God. Talk to God about your struggles. He saved you. He's not going to let you fail. He also won't let you settle. So tell God your struggle. Ask him for help to move through it. And while you're at it, share it with us. We're just a bunch of people who are a work in progress. And when we can encourage each other, the better we'll be. So together, with God's help, let's lean into his work. When we do, friend, we will win the day.